Hey gang, before we get to this week's video, I want to mention that I have a few openings in my weekly acting classes, which are, I do them online and I do them in person in LA. They're not for everyone. So first of all, we're especially looking for guys at this point because my mostly female students have asked me to get some guys into the class. And this is a professional level advanced class. It's all folks who are in the trenches and pursuing careers actively right now. And I've done speaking roles mostly have agents and are at a certain mid-career level at least. And that's not to be snobby. That's just the class. That's just the kind of class it is. So if that's not you, I sort of front load this because I can't stand to say no to people. I hate it, but not everyone is a fit. And the other things I typically get a lot of requests, so these spots do tend to fill up fast. However, at the moment, I've got a few spots. So if you're interested in working with me or you think you might be, you want to audit, go to auditionpsych101.com and hit the weekly classes tab and find out more. All right, now on with this week's video. Hey, actor friends, it's Michael Kostroff. Apparently, we're back. Thank you to those who reached out to let me know that you're once again getting these weekly videos. That was very helpful, so thank you. I hope that everybody on my list is now getting them because there are hundreds of people subscribed to these things and they were just going out into the ether. And I didn't know. So I'm glad that I'm actually communicating with somebody now. And I was glad to hear from many of you that you're going back and watching the ones you missed, which makes me happy because I'm not just doing them for me. Today I want to talk about a concern some actors have that I think is maybe a misplaced concern. And that is when they're preparing an audition, they worry about being all one note. All one note. And first of all, I'm a great believer that every new scene, every new piece it's a brand new project. It's a brand new puzzle. And different ones call for different things. I like to ask, what if it is all one note? Maybe that's called for. If your part is nice to see you again, Mr. Johnson, there's a very good chance it's going to be all one note. In certain comedies, that's what's funny, is the character is just all one note all the time, you know? But it's a weird phrase because I think it invites us to work from the outside and manipulate our audition scene so that it has variety in it, whether that's called for or not, because somebody told us it shouldn't be all one note. And I think that's the wrong way to work. I think when a scene is what we call all one note, it just means you haven't really explored very much. What I often see is an actor will say, well, you know, in this scene, I'm scared because I'm lost. And that's what they play, scared because I'm lost. That's it. There's no nuance in there. There isn't a moment of oh, maybe I figured it out, or maybe I can remember something, or I'm going to calm myself down so that I can find out where I'm going. All these things can happen within that scene. And I think looking for those opportunities makes a scene really more interesting. You know, I see a lot of argument scenes and oh my God, they can be really boring because all the people are doing is yelling at each other and trying to one-up each other instead of looking to see if they can get through to the person or reconsidering if maybe something they said was wrong or being shocked by something that they've heard. And just sort of experiencing it as it comes to you rather than designing it. It's something I'm really big on. And rather than being concerned with something being quote unquote all one note, just keep exploring. Keep asking yourself what else is going on in the scene? What else could be going on? What other influences are there in the scene? And don't get locked into, I'm on a train track, that's it. I'm mad, I'm sad, I'm flirtatious, I'm depressed, whatever. And that's all the decision making we're going to make for that scene. That's when you get something that has the kind of the flatness and doesn't go anywhere because you're stubbornly insisting on staying where you are, rather than, as I like to say, letting the stream take you where it takes you. I don't think you have to worry about a scene being all one note. I think you should take that phrase off your list and take that concern off your list and just be a really curious actor and keep mining for gold in the scene. It's so much more fun and involve so much less anxiety because we're not putting some false requirement on our work. That's all I have for you this week. I'll be back next week and the week after and the week after and the week after. And as always, I appreciate your comments, your feedback, disagreements, love them. Questions, love those too. So, all right, friends, see you next week.
Johnny could only sing one note, and the note he sang was this. Poor Johnny, one note, sang out with gusto and just overlord the place. Poor Johnny, one note, yelled willy-nilly until he was blue in the face. For holding one note was his ace. Couldn't hear the brass, couldn't hear the drum. He was in a class by himself, by gum. Poor Johnny, one note, got in Aida, indeed a great chance to be brave. He took his one note, howled like the north wind, brought north wind that made critics rave, while Verdi turned round in his grave. Couldn't hear the flute or the big trombone, everyone was mute. Johnny stood alone. Cats and dogs stopped yapping, lions in the zoo all were jealous of Johnny's big trip. Thunderclaps stopped clapping, traffic ceased its roar, and they tell us Niagara stood still. He stopped the train whistles, boat whistles, steam whistles, cop whistles,